Hey, this is from X22 Report. And Rudy Giuliani says something very important. He says the Democratic Party is covering up a pattern of corruption involving high-level members of the Obama cabinet. The multi-million and billion-dollar pay for play is mind-boggling. Biden family sale of office to Ukraine was not the only one most egregious. Slimy Joe is not alone. Wow, what a statement. He continues, Rudy Giuliani continues, Biden should agree to release records to see if he flew Hunter to China on December 2013 on Air Force Two to facilitate Hunter's sale of his office to China for a total of $1.5 billion. Is there any doubt that China paid it to compromise VBP, but they only brought in another poll as well? Yes.
Sale of his office to China for a total of 1.5 billion. Is there any doubt that China paid it to compromise vice president? But they bought another politician as well. Guess. Then we come to find out that the whistleblower is represented by former Schumer and Hillary staffer, who is an attorney. Attorney Andrew Bakaj is a representing an anonymous client who filed a whistleblower complaint based on rumors. Now, Andrew is now a managing partner at the Compass Rose Legal Group, interned for Schumer in the spring of 2001 and for Clinton in the fall of the same year. Now, according to his LinkedIn page, more recently, he has worked as an official in the CIA and Pentagon and specializes in whistleblower and security clearances in his legal practice. Ah, now we understand why they chose him and they brought him in. The whole thing is completely falling apart. Now, they released Trump's transcript today, and the mainstream media is going crazy over it. They're saying, yes, we found quid pro quo. We found this. We found that. We found everything. But there was nothing there. They were trying to read it, and they were trying to find something. Trump never traded anything with the Ukrainian president. He asked him for a favor, but that's not against the law. Now, since Trump was transparent, it is now time for everyone else that had dealings with Ukraine to be transparent. And we need to see Biden and Obama phone call records to make sure that there was no quid pro quo. Because according to Biden, it sounds like there was.
So Obama and Biden are now on the hot seat and will be continue to do so and be so because their records need to be brought forth. Will they be? I don't know, but they need to be. So now the Republican National Committee is asking for Biden to release his transcripts of Ukraine and China. That's going to get really interesting. Joe's going to get his old tip in the ringer. You wait and see. A formal call for impeachment of Joe Biden to release the following response to Joe Biden's baseless call for impeachment. It's going to get interesting. I think he's going to be out before 2020 elections
Is
get here.
happening right now. The tables have turned. Who has all the ammunition? Well, it's Trump and the Patriots and Ukraine. Because now they're reopening the investigation into Hunter Biden. And now Ukraine, with prosecutors that are actually going to look into this and actually prosecute, they're going to be gathering all this information. Now remember,
Transparency goes both ways. This is going to really blow up. We'll see if it goes both ways.
post 3381, Joe Biden, Vice President of the United States, follow the family, corruption in D.C., how to get rich, are liberals willfully blind or ... question mark. Biden's brother, 1.5 billion contract in Iraq. Biden's son, 1.5 billion deal with China. Coincidence? Drain the swamp. Joe Biden is part of the corrupt D.C. swamp. So what was accomplished by all of this? They needed a way to bring the corruption into the public spotlight. They needed to connect Biden, Obama, and Clinton to Ukraine. Mission accomplished. Now they can bring everything else in. Then Trump
Are we getting closer to the truth?
to
We'll
the
see.
conversation.
Mr. President, do you believe that the emails from Hillary Clinton, do you believe that they're in Ukraine? Do you think this whole thing
I think they
originated
could
in
be. You
Ukraine?
mean the 30,000 that she deleted?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they could very well. Boy, that was a nice question. I like that question. Because frankly, I think that one of the great crimes committed is Hillary Clinton deleting 33,000 emails after Congress sends her a subpoena. Think of that. You can't even do that in a civil case. You can't get rid of evidence like that.
So as you can see, Trump put it out there that he believes the 33,000 deleted emails are in Ukraine on that server. That's why he mentioned it. So here comes the next wave. And each wave brings exposing who these people are and what crimes they committed. There is now an investigation going on in Ukraine. Trump called Barr to investigate. Now comes the IG Pfizer report. Paul Sperry tweeted out the following. Breaking. The forthcoming report by IG Horowitz on Obama administration Pfizer abuse digs into Clinton paid dossier author Christopher Steele and his employer Orbis Business Intelligence maintaining Russian clients tied to the Russian government and paying Russian sources for information. He continued, breaking, the Department of Justice official Stu Evans, who expressed concerns about using Steele in the FISA and held up the FBI's applications, will figure prominently in the IG's forthcoming FISA abuse report. It is all coming out, and they're doing this in waves. They're doing this on purpose. They need to get the public on board. They need to have the mainstream media backed into a corner with no way out of this situation. Because every time they hit them, it's getting harder and harder for them. People are not believing it. Think about Schiff now. How many lies has he told? I mean, Maxine Waters is out there saying there's a lot more in Ukraine and Russia coming. And then they asked her, like, what? She had no clue how to answer that because there is nothing else coming. She's hoping, but guess what? It's all coming the opposite way. The deep state, the mainstream media, all these players, they're trapped in their own stupidity. And there's no way out of this. They keep digging their hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And all those cases that they had against certain individuals, they're starting to fall apart. Think about Flynn's case. And then in a stunning and very rare move, federal judge Anthony Trenga has thrown out the conviction of Mike Flynn's partner, Bijan Rafkian, Flynn Intel Group, and granted the defendant's motion to acquit. This is a huge blow to the Department of Justice, NSD, who framed their special counsel case on a sketchy FARA violation and bamboozled the jury with dubious legal theories. This type of intervention by a federal judge is very rare. Who is in control? Who's next? Who's going to be freed? That's going to be Flynn. Think about what's happening.
So Flynn's business partner has been freed. Wow, that's big news. And I think Flynn will be one of the next individuals. They know they need to go after these rascals that abuse the system legally. Oh, he said something that's really, really important and gives me some hope. He said the rule of law is being restored. I sure hope so, because that's what we're civilly fighting over. And it's the biggest battle in our current human history in America.
Is very rare. Who is in control? Who's next? Who's going to be freed? That's going to be Flynn. Think about what's happening right now. All of these cases are falling apart. Everything they tried to do, because What's happening? The rule of law is being restored. That's what you see happening. It's happening right in front of you. And now we know the elections are coming. And we know that Q said that the 2020 elections will be safeguarded and that voter ID is on the way. And I do believe back in 2018, they were monitoring and watching and catching individuals that engage in voter fraud. And they're collecting all this information. And we come to find out that in a key battleground state of Michigan, a Democrat city official is being charged with ballot tampering during the 2018 midterm election. Southfield City Clerk Sharikia L. Hawkins faces 6 felony counts over unauthorized and inaccurate changes that she allegedly made to absentee ballots last year. What did she do? She altered 193 absentee voter records. And they have the evidence. And what's very interesting is that they gave her an award. They gave her an award at the Michigan Democratic Party Legacy Dinner. I guess she was told what to do and she did it, so she got an award for that. And this is just the beginning. We're going to see many more individuals, but I do believe they're holding a lot of this back. And again, timing is everything. They've been watching what the Democrats, what the deep state players, what George Soros, what all of them have been doing during the election period of 2018. They collected the data. They have the data. They have these individuals. Now, this is just a small-time individual. I do believe that we're going to see some big-time players be put out into the spotlight to show that there is voter fraud. Because
So if this is true and they did catch these people in 2018 with the voter fraud and they have the evidence, this is going to blow up big time this coming year. Very interesting. I hope that is true. If it is, they've really played their cards well.
how do you push voter ID unless you have a crisis of voter fraud? Think about what's coming down the line. Now, it looks like Trump's plan with Iran is working because Iran is out there saying if the sanctions are ended and there is a return to the nuclear accord, there is room for giving reassurances toward breaking the deadlock, and that President Hassan Rouhani has even a proposal for small changes in the accord. Now, this is the second time that Iran has come out and said, listen, we will deal with the United States. Now, if you notice, Trump is not really responding. He might respond and say, yeah, you know what? We're keeping the sanctions. He did the same thing with North Korea. He wants them to beg. He wants them to say, okay, there's no conditions. Let's talk. Let's talk about a new deal. And I do believe it is working. Remember, he just placed additional sanctions on Iran. And Europe is not responding. And the deep state, guess what's happening to them? So Iran is looking and saying, okay, we might not have any options here. We might have to deal with Trump. And as they watch the deep state get picked off one by one, they're going to start to realize that they have no choice but to deal with Trump. And as you can see, what's coming? Pain. Every single time a new wave hits, more and more pain is delivered. Look what's happening to Biden now. You don't think he's sitting there sweating it out, worried now because everything they tried to do didn't work? Look what Clinton's doing. She's tweeting out, we need impeachment right now, right now, right now. Because he mentioned CrowdStrike in the server. They're slowly inflicting pain on the deep state. This is on purpose. Because remember, they committed treason. They robbed the American people. They lied to the American people. And let's not even talk about crimes against humanity, about Epstein and what they did there. That is all going to be brought into the fold. The Patriots are in control. They're calling the shots. Remember, they want the deep state to move this way, they move this way. They want the deep state to move the other way, they move the other way. And you can see it. Enjoy the show. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe.
All right, so Good news here about Flynn, about putting pressure on these key people. Obama, Biden, Clinton, they gotta be squirming, and others too. Dennis Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Support X 22X report.